Hello, and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt, and today we're going to talk about, did Joe Biden abolish ICE? But first, what I need you guys to do is hit like and subscribe. And remember, if you like the video, please share with others. Now let's get on with the show. First thing I want to do is go over what ICE really is. ICE is the United States Immigration, Custom, and Enforcement Agency. Now, their mission is to protect from cross-border crimes and illegal immigration that threatens national security and public safety. This mission is executed through the enforcement of more than 400 federal statutes and focus on smart immigration enforcement prevention. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Majority of left, especially the progressive left, want to abolish ICE because they see ICE as a boogeyman for illegal immigration. And the fact is, they're doing their job. Their job is to prevent illegal immigrants coming inside the U.S., especially when it comes to criminals. And another thing is they deport illegal immigrants to get in and commit a crime in the United States, as well as they also deport criminals in other countries and deport them out of the United States that way as well. That's part of their job and their mandate. Now, this is the first thing that got me looking at this story was Stephen Miller went on Hannity, said Joe Biden is shutting down ICE. And I was like, there's no way that would be the case. ICE does more than just get rid of, deports illegal immigrants. They go after criminals. They stop, they bust illegal drug busts. They do illegal guns coming in the United States, so on and so forth. They have a large mandate. Joe Biden is abolishing ICE by nullifying them. I try to look deeper into it in this story, and there's no examples of it until I got to a different story. In this story, Biden's administration shut down ICE. Public safety page ceases reporting of criminal deportations. Now, I knew he had put a cease on deporting anybody for the first 100 days of his administration. That was something that he didn't hide, and neither did the media. But I did not know he shut down ICE's alert. And this alert page actually started in 2013 under Obama. And what it's for is to inform the public of fugitive criminals and aliens that haven't been apprehended yet. And the reason they shut it down is because they want to do some tweaks to it, supposedly. Okay, this is a Washington Post report. Reported that the base on a new guidelines and emails and memos, ICE's agents will no longer be allowed to deport immigrants for crimes such as driving under the influence and assault. It will focus instead on national security threats, recent border crossers, and people completing prison and jail terms for aggressive felony convictions. Generally, these convictions will not include drug-based crimes, less serious offenses. Simple assaults, DUI, money laundering, property crimes, fraud, tax crimes, solicitation, or charges without convictions. Acting Director Ty Johnson told senior officials in a Thursday email advising them how to operate while new guidelines are finalized. Generally, they won't be allowed to arrest fugitives outside of prison. Agents seeking to arrest fugitives outside of jail and prison will need prior approval from the agency director in Washington to justify the decision while explaining how the enforcement action constitutes as an appropriate allocation of limited resources, according to a draft memo circulating at the agency. We know that in many of these blue cities and states, ICE is not allowed to arrest in the prisons. Basically, ICE won't be arresting very many people. They abolish ICE without abolishing ICE, said one distraught official who spoke on the condition of anonymity because that person was not authorized to speak to the media. The pendulum swung is so extreme, literally feels like we've gone from the ability to full enforcement to our immigration laws to now being told to enforce nothing. ICE officials say they were not expecting the kind of restrictions on agents that have been outlined in preliminary memos and emails obtained by the Post. The interim guidelines show how ICE priorities have pivoted since Biden took office. the memo is letting criminals remain. A January 20th memo issued by DHS orders a 100-day pause on deportations, which a federal judge soon halted. The judge set temporary enforcement priorities while the agency underwent a review. Johnson, the acting ICE director, sought to clarify the new rules last week in an email to officials ensuring of how to operate in the meantime. Immigrants shouldn't be considered public safety threat if they have an institutional record of violent behavior, well-documented gang affiliation, or aggressive felony convictions, Johnson told senior staff. Such crimes would include murder, rape, child abuse, major drug offense, and agents should prioritize these releases after the insurance of the January 20th memo, he wrote. In an instance where an aggressive felony is more than 10 years old and not the reason for a recent arrest, the individual would not be considered a public safety threat, Johnson indicated. Gang tattoos or records showing loose affiliation with gang activity would also not meet the narrow criteria. Border states are targeted. ICE officials said that under Trump, criminal offenders were the vast majority of those taken into custody by agents, but many of those arrested for convictions are pending charges for driving under the influence, traffic offenses, and immigration violations such as illegally re-entering the country. The narrow priorities, he said, would focus agents on getting dangerous people off the streets. The January 20th memo will allow thousands of people with criminal history to remain in the United States and to possibly reoffend. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed the federal lawsuit that overturned the 100-day pause, resuming deportations. Texas has since asked the U.S. District Judge Drew Tipton, a Trump appointee, to toss the entire memo, which could affect the new priorities, call it a total abdication to either responsibility or to law enforcement. Okay, guys, I'm going to be honest here. When I'm hearing all this stuff, my first thought's like, well, I guess the Republicans are going to win the Senate and House, because there is no way the Democrats can actually say this is a good thing. Yes, they're going after more violent criminals, but they're leaving a lot of people that had violent past in the United States. They had the violent past in other countries and allow them to stay here. And the idea that they might not reoffend, more likely they will. I mean, especially since they're being arrested in the United States again for drunk driving, for money laundering, so on and so forth. Yes, are they aggressive offensives? No. But if you know they have a background of other things such as murder, rape, and stuff like that, you need to send them back to the country of origin. Makes more sense. It keeps the public safer. Not only that, if they're doing money laundering and DUIs and stuff like that, they're hurting people when they do that, or they have a potential of hurting people. Okay, so has he abolished ICE? No, he has not. But has he defanged ICE? Yes, he has. He's hurt ICE to the point where they're not going to be arresting many people. And the fact is they're not going to be deporting that many people with the way he has it set up. That should concern people. All right, here's my next thought. Do I think Joe Biden is making a mistake? Yes. I think he's listened too much to the progressive base. People like AOC, Bernie Sanders, who wants to actually abolish ICE. They see them as like almost a remnant of the KKK. These people are doing a service to the United States. They're keeping illegal immigrants coming across the border illegally from coming in, especially criminals from other countries. I mean, if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't have caught those two terrorists in California. I mean, politically, it doesn't make any sense for him to do this, especially since he knows the Republicans are going to use it against him. And it's going to hurt him because not only do Republicans think that we need to be more stringent on the border, but a lot of Democrats and a lot of independents think the same way. It's going to hurt his ability to actually keep the legislature in Democrat hands. Now, some of you guys are probably hearing me talk like that, and y'all think I want him to keep the legislature. No, I don't. I want the Republicans to take it. But I'm just giving him some political advice because it's the dumbest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. My opinion, there's a good chance Republicans are going to win the Senate and the House anyway. But this kind of makes it almost like a 100% chance of it happening. Alright guys, now it's time for my quote of the day. And it's by Thomas Sowell. There are few things more dishonorable than misleading the young. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Peace.